If I was trying to recruit somebody from outside of our industry, especially from automotive or a VOTEC school, I would say, are you looking for more pride in your job? Because I get a lot of pride out of what I do for turf and golf in general. And if you're looking for more pride in what you do and the product that you put out on a daily basis, turf's where it's at. Because of the immediate feedback and the amazing aesthetics and the standards that golfers are looking for, you take a lot of pride in what you do because the product that you're putting out is what they play, and it gets back to you. The pro shop will get back to you, the golfers get back to you, wave, hey, thank you, the course is great, love it out here, it's playing awesome, feels good for me, it feels good for the entire team, and definitely a huge sense of pride comes with that. I don't think there's anywhere I would rather be than right here. I do not remember the first time that I picked up a tool. I grew up with my dad, and he was a jack of all trades. He was always working on something. He worked for the county for years, and I always wanted to ride in the big dump truck with Dad. My first memory with my dad in the garage is bleeding brakes, and I got pretty comfortable with tools in my hand. I started collecting little toolbox worth of stuff, and whenever it came time to graduate high school, I was working at Burger King, and I wanted to do something that was more of a career. So I applied for the military, and I tested really high in the electrical and mechanical areas. I was taking care of hazmat programs and technical orders and shop safety and everything that you're asked to do in the golf world, I was doing there already. So I was already pre-wired for this. Whenever I got out, I lost a big part of what I was doing there. And whenever I came over to golf, I saw the intricacies and the attention to detail, and it had a huge correlation between the two for me. So I was like, okay, this is probably something I really, really want to do. So I went to a job fair just looking for anything at that point. It was about a month after I got out. So it was early April, and every golf course is hiring in early April. So they said, we just need somebody to work the grounds. Break, mow, probably be in a sand trap for a month or so. And I said, okay, you know, if it's money coming in, I'll do it. They went without a mechanic for a while. And one day I was driving a TX Turf Gator around and it stopped working. And I was like, well, let me think about it for a second. And I hit the starter with a rock. That's what I could find. And it went. So I drove it back to the shop, and I told the boss, I was like, hey, I think that Gator needs a starter. And he was like, how do you know? And I was like, well, XYZ. And he's like, you're a mechanic. Thanks for reading my resume. After going to San Diego in 2021, Roxanne from the pro shop called me from Nemacolin and said, hey, the equipment manager left, would you be interested? Of course I was nervous. I know the caliber of this place. They're gonna want the absolute best. So redid the resume, and whenever they called me to do an interview, I was so nervous. And then I met Chris Anderson, and it was like, this is gonna be awesome.
When I first met her, she got to our shop and it was overrun with, 20 years of junk. And the very first thing she started in on, because she wanted to get her CTEM certification, was her very first goal when she started here. And I made sure to give her all the resources that she needed.
And it was a race against time. It was the most intense 6 months of work I've ever done, because after my regular day was done, I stayed an hour or two just to tackle something on the attesting rubric. And if you try to bite off more than you can chew, you're going to get burnt out. But knowing what I knew from the military and bringing it over to turf helped in a massive way. It made it a lot easier for me. I already knew what I was looking for.
She cares about the industry in general and just seeing other equipment managers, helping them be a resource to help them out, figuring out ways they can be better, and hopefully finding ways for them to find the resources to get the stuff that they need too.
Whenever I came from the military, I was coming from a heavy equipment background. Big wrenches, big tires, big hydraulic manifolds, huge engines. Now we're getting switched over to golf and everything's a little smaller. I can still figure that out, but 90% of what I do is cutting units. That's the big thing that everybody notices. And the more I found out about it, the more I was like, okay, this part's actually one of the most important parts, right here at the beginning. But whenever you put it back together and you're slicing paper like butter, and then you go cut grass and it looks amazing, it's like, okay, all this work makes that happen. So everything from the beginning to the end is important.
We're so focused in on the golf courses themselves that we as, directors, superintendents don't see that work area as they do. And superintendents don't know any better because they don't see all the other things that can affect a cut. The minute things that go into a reel that make it, 1, cut better, 2, look better, and 3, last longer.
It took me 7 solid years of trial and error, reading, classes to finally understand what I'm doing in the shop and how it correlated to what was happening on the golf course. Another reason I wanted to join the military right after high school was because whenever I was in 8th grade is when September 11th happened. And whenever your country gets attacked, you take it pretty personal. And I took it super personal. I love where I live and I love the people. And I don't want to see something like that happen here. So I figured, why not serve, do my part to protect everything I love back home. And it was one of the greatest decisions I've ever made. The other really big part of me that I lost whenever I left the military was the family feel, and I found that in the turf industry. Because even if you're in Florida, Georgia, California, we all feel like we're in it together. We're all in this together. And that was a feeling I lost whenever I left the military, and I found it in turf, and it's amazing.
Tell me when to stop, because I have maybe 10 questions, 8 questions maybe.
Keep her rolling.
What do you think drives Kayla?
One, just proving to herself that what she does on a daily basis affects our entire operation. And being the first female certification and giving representation to other women in the turf industry. I wouldn't think of her as being a female in the industry or anything like that. She shows up, she is exceptional at what she does, and it's not anything that ever crosses my mind. She's just solid.
One of the things they always said when I was in the military was 1 team, 1 fight. And turf is the exact same thing. It's 1 team, 1 fight. We all have the common goal. We don't look at color, sex, ethnicity, backgrounds, anything. We're all just in it together.
Yeah, one of my questions is, does it even cross your mind anymore that you're a woman in a male world?
Absolutely not. It doesn't even cross my mind that I'm a woman in a man's world. It doesn't. It doesn't feel like a man's world to me. It doesn't feel like a woman's world to me. I just know that I belong here.